Hello and welcome to the Team Bus. This is the Side Piece podcast to the Beyond the Slipstream main show. My name's Matt Harper. I'm here with my brother Justin, and we are going to get into a whole bunch more stuff Tour de France related and otherwise that we didn't get to on our main Beyond the Slipstream show this week. Justin, where do you want to start today?
I think we should start with kind of going over Pog in the tour and kind of, where he sits all time. I know that you took a bunch of notes on this, and I'm really kind of interested to get into the meat of it based on some things that he also said after the race that I like to work in, to that conversation. So, first off, so he now sits fifth all time for individual yellow jerseys owned with 53. That's nuts. He's 26.
Well, so let's rewind just a sec. Last week we basically sort of resignedly said to ourselves, like, okay, we're this he's removed any bit of competitiveness from this race, and we're now just like, let's just see him destroy all the records. I want to see him get all the records. So last week we were talking about his where he was sitting in the Tour de France stage wins categorization, and this week we're talking about where he's at in the number of yellow jerseys. Oh, and so this is basically like how many days in yellow has a rider gotten? And as you just stated, he's now fifth all time for individual yellow jerseys with 53. Chris Froome is fourth with 59. So he only needs 6 more days in yellow to get to fourth, or 7 more days in yellow to be in sole possession of fourth. Uh, Indurain, Miguel Indurain has 60 for third place. Then it leaps up to Bernard Hinault in second with 75, and then a big leap up to Eddie Merckx in first for 96. So he's only about halfway to the ultimate record in this category.
How many did he?
But
Do you know how many he had in this particular race?
he, I think he got it for good on like stage 12. So that's probably 9 right there. Plus he had it for like 2 or 3 other days. So he probably got like 10 or 11,
Okay.
10, 11, 12, somewhere in there in this race. Do you remember when like he he had he had held the white jersey in every race that he had ever gotten in for like 95 days in a row or something like that, like something completely insane. How like what the grip that he had on white jerseys was ridiculous when he was a young
Yes.
rider. um so yeah, I'm interested in just like chasing down every Tadej Pogacar superlative that there is for him to get. And I figure career like days in yellow, that's a big one, right?
Hmm.
It's not stage wins, it's not Tour de France stage wins, but it's pretty big. And Eddie Merckx has 96, and Pog is at fifth all time with 53, so he's like just over halfway there. But he's 26, right? It's 26.
26.
So sky's the limit.
So what I find interesting with this is, so after the race, obviously, he's doing a million interviews, and in the course of these interviews, he said, and I quote, "I don't think I'll stop right away, but I also don't see myself going on for much longer. The Los Angeles Olympics are one of my goals, which are 3 years from now. After that, I might start thinking about retirement. We'll see." All right.
Hmm.
So,
That would be on trend for these Gen Z superstars, who are just like dialed in with their own well-being and contentment.
so I, th- I feel like competition would help him stay in longer, but I almost could see him thinking to himself, well, if I win the next three leading up to the Olympics, then I have the real seven. All right. And No one will ever be able to take that away from me. And then I get, my gold medal. So that he's going for gold. And
Of
like,
course.
I mean, you want to talk about calling your shot,
But
early.
like as we've already discussed, earlier this week on the main show, like he has a vulnerability. There is a certain parkour that he has a very hard time winning on.
Well, see, that's where I see he goes maybe, another 3 or 4 years in this mold that he's in now. And if he hasn't cracked the nut of some of those races, I could just see him like putting every bit of his effort into collecting the races that he doesn't have, that he hasn't been able to get over. But he also said that and so here there's more. Um, so it's unlikely that he's going to be racing the Vuelta. I think it's pretty much cooked at this point that he's not going to race the
Yeah,
Vuelta.
he's not going to the Vuelta.
He said, I quote, I still have goals between now and the end of the season, but not many races left. Then I'm going to take a break, enjoy the rest period, and think about preparing for the next one, especially Paris-Roubaix, which I want to win. This year, for my first participation, I found this race crazy. My second place was already incredible. I want to come back. So,
I think he wins Roubaix in the next 2 years. This year, like next year or the year after. I think he wins MSR in the next 4 years. And in doing so, in cracking the code on MSR, he gets himself to the point where he can win the Olympic road race in Los Angeles, depending on that parkour. And I have no idea when they're going to announce the parkour for it, but um, that would be the perfect storyline. He finally cracks that code. He gets the fifth monument, and he gets the Olympic gold medal around the same time. And also at the same time, he's finishing his dominance of the Tour de France and solidifying the all-time record, even over the cheater Lance Armstrong. Um, that's the perfection.
do you think
That's
he?
how
Do you
his
think?
next 4 years could play out to perfection,
Do you think
and
he's
then he
happy with
could ride
7?
off into the sunset.
Do you think he's happy with 7, or do you think he'd rather have 8?
Who knows? Who knows? He's got 4.
I kind of, yeah, no shit. He's halfway
He's
there, and
halfway
he's
to 8,
he's
man.
he's got years and years left. I mean, what was Garrett was probably 32 when he won the. No, he's probably younger than that. He's probably 30 when he won the tour. So, you know what I'm saying? He's easily got. I'm saying he could rack off the next 4. I just,
He could.
if his form stays the way that it is, he could rack
Who's
off the
going to
next
beat him?
4.
Florian Lipwitz.
I mean, I still truly believe that the only person that is going to be capable of beating him is Jonas. I don't think there's anybody. I think
Yeah.
if it weren't for Pogacar, Jonas would just be the one beating the shit out of everybody.
You know what the difference between Jonas and Tade are? Jonas is kids. He's fucking soft. He's soft. He's so soft because of those kids. All right, let's move on. Um, one thing to put it to finish out this topic, a little hypothetical for you. If Pog wins the GC next year in Tour de France, and let's say he holds yellow for 10 of the stages in next year's Tour de France, he'll be tied for most all-time GC wins at five with Eddie Merckx and Bernard Hinault, and he'll be in sole possession of third all-time for total days in yellow. So
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, the sky's the limit. If he decides that he's going to do it, I feel like he's going to do it.
yeah,
And I think you're right. I think the only thing that could derail him is a family.
yeah. Do not get Urska pregnant. Don't do it.
Yes, yes.
Tade, wrap that sucker up. Use birth control. All right. Let's get into some other stuff here.
What is this thread about coverage, Lance Armstrong. What is that?
Well, hold on. Let me just mention that the average speed of the 2025 Tour de France was 26.625 miles per hour. That is the average speed for every every single rider that finished the Tour de France on every stage. One all of those times, all averaged together 26.62 average speed. I've said this before. If I went out, I'm relatively fit. I ride my bike a couple times a week. If I went out on a flat road and tried as hard as I could not get my bike up to 26 miles per hour. I could not with
The
the
power
with
of the
the
Peloton.
with the maximum effort that I put out. I could not reach that speed. I can reach that speed on like a nice little like steady downhill. Doesn't have to be a steep downhill. Steep downhill I get to 40 miles per hour, but just like a slow like an easy downhill, I could get to 26 miles per hour, but not on the flat. I could not get there on the flat. There's no possible way. And these dudes are averaging 26 miles per hour. Go out, go out and notice what 26 miles per hour feels like in your car sometime, and think that 21 days, they're riding an average of that speed. It's staggering. It's
It's like
mind-boggling. But
44, 45 kilometers an hour. It's crazy.
yeah, absolutely nuts. All right. You were asking about my note about Reddit thread tour about the tour coverage and Lance Armstrong. So I'm in some like Reddit, Peloton type threads, etc. And somebody was commenting about the how dissatisfied they were with the NBC, with the Peacock tour coverage. We've spoken about it, and it's got its ups and its downs. It's actually interesting this week watching the women's Tour de France and like the difference between the package that they're putting out for the men's versus the women. It's sad.
It is, but I will
They're,
say
they're
that.
they are phoning it in for the women.
But I do like me some Anthony McCrossan
Yeah.
and Hannah Walker
Oh my God, McCrossan and Walker. I'll listen to them.
all
I
day
will listen to
long.
them over Bob and Phil all day long. It's sad.
All day long.
So,
Hannah
but it was
Walker. Hannah
interesting.
Walker's got such damn good insights, man. Like, she is on her shit, dude. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
she.
But McCrossan can surprise her too. There's
Listen,
some stuff that he dropped in there.
Listen. I'm putting in my vote now. When Phil retires, replace him with Hannah Walker, Bob and Hannah Walker.
That would be amazing.
Fucking
Oh my God,
awesome.
would I love it? I don't think she
so
would do
good.
it. But
So good.
well, it's funny.
If
This
first off, they wouldn't offer it to her, but if they offered it to her, she'd be stupid not to take it.
I know. This Reddit thread though is like,
Ooh, put Christian in the booth with Bob. Hannah Walker is the new Christian.
on the bike.
Either on the bike or just or maybe make her the Steve Perina.
I know, but
God, she was just so good
she's
in
already
the
done
Giro
that. She needs to be in the booth. Hannah needs to be in the booth.
Yeah, she is very good.
She's Rob Hatch level.
All right, so what
We've already talked about this. So in this thread though, they were talking about all this stuff that we're talking about right now, like who's good, who's bad, who should be doing what. They were talking about. I was very gratified to hear one of them. Like somebody was like, I can't believe that, Peacock or NBC did this. I mean, like, what the hell? And then somebody commented, it was like, hello, this is the network that got rid of Chris Horner. I was just like, yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. Like, dude, Chris Horner gets mad respect
I was watching Chris Horner today.
amongst the fandom. He's great, man. He tactics.
Oh yeah.
Nobody better with the tactics analysis than Chris Horner. And that was like one of the big complaints in Reddit is like Bob, like with Bob and Phil, there's no talk of tactics. They're like, thank God Christian's there because at least we get a little bit of tactics when they bounce to Christian, because like Bob and Phil are barely talking about it at all, and it's totally true.
Which is why Christian makes a lot of sense to move into there when it's done, because I think that he would add a lot to
100%.
that broadcast.
100%. It will get better if Christian moves into the booth with Bob,
Yes.
for sure. However,
Because look at how the last stage was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, um, the chat in this particular thread, I don't even know what the question was at the top of this thread or whatever, but it's just I'm just remembering some shit. But some people were going off about like the whole like Lance Armstrong, the move
Right.
that comes on after, and like I was so gratified to see it be like 90% people just like f that show. It's lame. Listening to Lance read out ads is horrible, and like there's so many ads, and so many people were like echoing my thoughts that I have on the whole subject. Like there were people out there saying things like, you know what, I'm good on all of like my cycling like media. I don't need. I'm good without having Lance Armstrong's voice in my head for my cycling media. Like I'm covered. I'm good. So I don't need you, Lance. And like just I don't know. It was very gratifying to read all that kind of stuff because fuck that guy. Like
Here,
it's annoying.
here's the
It's
one
a,
thing that
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
some people
say.
were like, here's one. Some people were like I'm really ready to just get rid of my Peacock because they're still platforming this clown.
So the one thing I'll say about it is, shame on NBC for like essentially just optioning his podcast, because that's all it is. It's the same thing that his podcast is. So all they're doing is broadcasting his podcast. If you're gonna do it, NBC, if you're gonna pull him in, like, produce a segment. All right, get rid of the fucking stupid sponsors and all the nonsensical like reads that he does, and just let him do tour analysis, and then it becomes a little bit less. I don't know. Maybe it's more palatable then, but it's just like it just seems like NBC has just given him a direct line, into people's homes because he won a bunch of Tour de France's. And
It's funny. It's funny. A lot of people in the in this thread were talking about how like they're like he doesn't even really seem like he likes doing analysis, which is funny because he's a competitor.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't he has got that thing that's deep, deep, deep inside of his brain that he wants to win. He wants to be winning. And it like the comments seem to suggest that like that kind of it kind of shows like he's not really interested in
Yeah,
talking about the
Hencappy is
exploits
Hencappy
of
is the
other
most
people.
interesting part of that show, and he gets swallowed up, between the two giant personalities of Bradley Wiggins and Lance Armstrong, because those
Right.
two can't give anybody a word in edgewise, and Hencappy comes off looking
I
like a
still haven't
like
seen one
like
second
a
of that
like a
show. I'm
meek
so
and
glad.
meeker version of himself, but
Hmm.
I don't know. Like I just think it's lazy on the part of NBC. It's like, if you're gonna get in bed with him, just get all the way in bed with him. Don't just option his fucking podcast to be on your thing because you're too lazy to create more content around the best sporting event in the world. It's like, whatever, dude. Like, it's funny, man, with the whole
Right.
Stephen Colbert of things recently. I heard somebody say, I think it was Jon Stewart. Said that, the valuation of these companies is, you know, based around the art that people make. And you know what? Sometimes you're gonna do content and spend money that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it makes it better. And it's like, dude, you're telling me that you couldn't give. There's so many really, really good people that they could get, in bed with. They could get in bed with Garen Thomas. Like that, I'm
No,
like,
I'm with you.
I'm,
I'm with you.
you know what I mean? It's like, why him of all
Yeah.
people? Just
Yeah.
because
Fucking.
he was the face of American cycling? It's like, come
Yeah.
on, man. Like, just I'm with you, dude. It's to me, it's just a lazy version of what could be. It's just another example of why the TNT Eurosport coverage is just leaps and bounds, above. Look at the GCN racing show with Low and Hugh Jackman with Dan Lloyd. All right, that is a better quality piece of entertainment that's put out weekly than anything that NBC did, other than their like Beyond the Podium, studio piece that they did with Brent and TJ Van Gardner in it every day. All right, like they had that, which was nice, but that was like a produced thing that they would do, obviously long after the stage.
Right.
It wasn't like direct commentary, but it's like, I'm sorry, you could get better people to do an after show than Lance Armstrong.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's finish that because I got a lot we want to get to, and we've belabored that point enough.
All right.
Would you go? Let's do your UCI point standing.
Oh, dude, it's heating up. Heating up.
Go for it.
All right. So through the 23rd, we had Astana with just a narrow 10-point lead over Intermarché, with a lead over Picnic Post-Anel, and Cofidis in 19th, and we added in Uno X Mobility, who are only trailing Cofidis by 759 points. Going through the 28th, this is counting the points from the tour, Picnic Post-Anel has now taken the lead, has jumped 2 spots, all right, to take 16th, all right, with a 28-point lead, all right, over XDS Astana.
I'm surprised because I feel like at the end of both stage 20 and 21, there was like Astana riders like
there was.
So how did Picnic Post get
1273? Oscar only, man. All right, came in 4th. Massive points there.
Wow.
All right, so they now have just a narrow 28-point lead on XDS Astana, who now has a 593-point lead over Intermarché. So Intermarché is fading even more. Intermarché's lead, they led Cofidis by 1,550 last week. All right. Now they are only leading Cofidis by 1,456. So they lost nearly 100 points to Cofidis last week. And Uno X was trailing Cofidis by 759. They are now only 343 points away from Cofidis. So look, those two in Intermarché are absolutely like, those spots can switch, man, big time.
Yeah.
Very
interesting.
Heating up in the bottom, basement of relegation in the men's world tour. So I'm like, this has now become one of my favorite weekly things to do, is to see where it is, because it is this like very interesting side note of and what it's going to mean for some of these teams to stave off relegation, or to in the case of Uno X, possibly make it into the top 18.
I find myself thinking about it as I'm watching races with these teams. I'm like, oh, there they go. Are they going to move up? That's good. All right, some more cycling stuff. Rolf Aldag, he's like the long time I
saw this today.
Brain trust behind Red Bull. He is out. He is leaving Red Bull. I think that team it's going to be interesting what happens with that team. I mean, I think it's very clear that Primoz is no longer the guy. He delivered a Grand Tour stage win to them in the name of the Vuelta.
He won the Vuelta last year.
Yeah, so he gave them their Grand Tour stage win. He's not going to give them a Tour de France. That ain't going to happen.
No, I think that they know it. And I also think that I wonder if this isn't some sort of move that signals like a changing of the guard and them bringing in Remco. I'm wondering if this isn't something to do with that.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting.
And he also may be the voice of opposition to the Remco thing, and they're just like, okay, well then, if you're not on board, then you got to go.
Yeah. So that it's going to be fascinating watching what happens with that team over the next couple of years.
They got some big, dude. They got big decisions to make, Because I'm sure that Primos is commanding a rather large amount of money. And if I'm them, like, I don't see any reason to re-sign him after this, unless he's willing to take a massive pay cut and work as a aging domestique. Because, like, at this point, dude, in this day and age, he's not beating those guys for anything. And
No. He'll never finish a Grand Tour higher than Florian Lipowitz ever again.
I truly believe that. I truly believe that 100%. I think that you are completely correct. And again, that's not to say anything. He's had a great career. He's Primoz
like
freaking
38.
Roglic.
He's like 38.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, definitely. He can retire and be like, I never won the Tour de France, but whatever. I'm ready to like enjoy the rest of my life, which he will do to great heights.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
That guy's gonna live a glorious life. So.
And I would assume that if he wants to, that somebody will gobble him up for something, because he is terribly personable.
Yeah. No, he'll land on his feet for sure. All right, let me run through a couple of these things. I guess I'll stick these in the show notes. I got some Instagram links here. Most of these were from like the Montmartre area of the stage 21.
Are they just like the massive crowd shots?
Yes, which is just like incredible. I don't know if I mentioned this to you. Did I mention this on the main show about like the Champs Elysees versus the Montmartre, like the
amount of people?
No, like on the Champs Elysees, there's no like apartments. It's all businesses.
Right.
Did I mention this before?
No.
Okay, so when you're on the Champs Elysees, it's all like all the buildings on the side of the Champs. It's all businesses. You know what I mean? Like it's like a bustling like touristy business area. Nobody lives down there. But when you go into Montmartre and you're going up those climbs, like those are apartment buildings that are like packing those streets on those tight little streets that you see as they're going up this climb. And so all of those people that live there, they're all out on the street. Like that's just something that's a different characteristic to the vibe between the Champs and Montmartre. It's smaller, it's closer, and it's like it's more real. You know what I mean? It's not just a bunch of tourists who have come down there to watch a thing. It's like
no.
It's like people who have walked out the front door of their building and are going buck fucking
that
wild.
Felt like Paris like flooded the streets.
Yes.
Yeah. It was very different feeling.
It's so cool. So I caught a couple of cool Instagram videos from it. One was a guy had a sign. It said do a wheelie for a beer.
And the guy, he grabs it and chugs it.
Yeah. Paul Penawet. It was Paul Penawet. I think he's on like FDJ. He straight up. It's like the video. It shows the guy with the sign. Then it turns. You see the dude like pop the wheelie and then come by and like grab the beer.
Did you see the guy that like he like at the end of the race he like stopped and like grabbed the beer and like popped it with his cleat?
No, yeah. I love that with the cleat pop. Okay, there was one, and it was just like the person was just like, this is what watching the Tour de France in Paris is like, and he was just like, clearly this video was from like a first floor balcony in an apartment that was like right up there in the mix, and you're looking down and you're basically just like seeing the riders go from left to right through the frame. And there's like, you can see the entire crowd. Like you can see them like 12 deep on their side, and you can see just like tons of people on the other side. And like first it was right at one of the spots where Pog was at like in the lead. So the first thing you see is like the yellow jersey, like the full like yellow shorts and jersey come through, and boom, Wout van Aert's right there. And then like they keep showing these other ones, and it's just like, that is so badass. Can you imagine just like stepping out on the balcony of your apartment and seeing that?
Can you imagine that if they announce that they're going to do this again, okay, that every property owner on that run is just high-fiving each other. Yeah,
they're all like Airbnb.
They're like, we're gonna rent our apartment out this week.
About to get $5,000. for going out
Yeah,
of town for the weekend.
yeah. I'm gonna leave for the weekend. Let other people do this, and yeah,
Straight up. Yeah, it was just total madness. Guys pulling wheelies, guys
just a
just like having
way
fun.
different feeling.
And then there
The
was
look of it was crazy too,
ah,
with just the trees and the cobbles, and it's
and
just
going
like,
past Sacre Coeur,
yeah,
like
just
so
crazy.
incredible, so incredible. Um, and then the last one I put on there was Never Change Poggy, and they showed a clip from him from last year, and then one from this year in the Tour de France. And apparently, I had no idea this was a thing with Tadej Pogacar. He likes to like in like more chilled out sections of the race when the peloton's just kind of like riding together, or maybe like in the pre-race or whatever, like before the kilometer zero, he likes to come up behind a guy and do the old like thing that we've all done since we were like 5 year old children, which is
Like
like
the shoulder
tap
tap.
somebody on the other side. He rides up behind him and like taps him over here, and then they turn and look, and then they turn and look back, and it's Pogacar right there in the yellow jersey, like, "Hey, what's up?" And then the caption on the Instagram, on the Instagram, it's just like, "Never change, Poggy."
Did you, by the way,
I
did
love it.
did you see that Poggy ran into the back of Visma's car in like the rolling
What?
stop of one of the stages? Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Or not a
no.
rolling stop, but in the rolling start. Like they
Mhm.
were like trying to like, come off of, the big photo shoot thing.
Right.
And he was right behind Visma's car and they like hit the brakes and he like poof.
Jesus. I love it. I love it. All right. Um, I have one more item that I want to get in. We got about 7 minutes left.
Yeah, I only have one other thing too.
You do yours first because mine's good.
Oh, mine's good too, dude. I was just gonna say, if you enjoyed Happy Gilmore, the original, you should watch the sequel. It came out on Netflix on Friday. Um, it was extremely funny. Even like my wife, who does not get into things like that, we were giggling all through it. It's the right kind of fan service. Like I'm not one for fan service too often, but if it's done with the right tongue in cheek of it, it I think it can be very good, and it's kind of everything that you wanted an Adam Sandler movie to be. And my wife made the comment of you know everybody's kind of too scared to do the dick and fart humor anymore, and it was kind of refreshing to see you know, a true, Adam Sandler movie with, some raunchy jokes that don't make a lot of sense and, a billion cameos that just make you go like, oh yeah, they got that guy too. Like that's awesome. You know what I mean? And it was like, if they were alive, they got them in that movie. Like it was everybody. I mean, they bring everybody back. I saw a thing that said there were 74 cameos.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's an
dude.
outrageous number.
And now, mind you, like 30 of those are like the best golfers in the world. Okay, but
Right.
there's still like every
Oh, a lot of
friggin' person you
cameos.
could want. All the Sandler people are in it. I think maybe outside. I don't like honestly. I don't remember if I don't think David Spade popped up anywhere in it, but uh, Deuce Bigelow definitely does. Rob Schneider popped up, but there's so many of them. So it was very good. You know, doesn't require a lot of mental capacity, but is a good watch.
Well, let me speak on Sandler. So I have had a weird relationship with Adam Sandler. My first knowledge of Adam Sandler was from SNL. I loved him on SNL. He was fantastic on SNL. So many good bits, Opera Man, and all the rest. Um, then as soon as he pivoted from SNL, he came out with like Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, and I immediately like jumped off the bandwagon. Full disclosure, I have never seen either one of those movies. I have not seen Happy Gilmore. I have not seen Billy
Nah,
Madison.
you're doing yourself a disservice.
I know. Let me finish. So then his career went on. I never saw any of those, but Little Nicky and all those movies. Like he did like the 10 movies between like when he did Billy Madison. Like I never saw any of them, but
There's like 25 of them.
I know it's crazy. But then he did that movie Punch Drunk Love, Paul Thomas Anderson, and I saw that and I was like, damn, this guy can kind of act. And I saw that like 9/11 movie that he did with Don Cheadle. You ever see that movie?
Yes, I can't think of what it's called, but
I think it's called Rain or Me, like the Who song, Love Rain or Me. You
right.
know that song? So I saw that. I'm like, God dang, this guy's got some chops. And then like begun his like serious career, like where he was doing these serious movies. And like he did that like Uncut Gems movie. I mean,
Very
that thing
good.
is crazy. And I saw some of the other stuff he did, and I was like, all right, so now he's established himself as a legit actor. So I'm back on board with him. I never went back and watched the Billy Madison stuff or whatever, but then I saw his stand-up special that he came out with like maybe like 2 or 3 years ago,
He's touring right now.
and I was blown away by how incredible that stand-up special was. It was incredibly well produced. It was hysterical, and it was also so heartwarming. Like when he did his song about like Chris Farley and like, I mean, it was just like gut punch level. So I have this like newfound respect for Adam Sandler. Like I love that guy. He is cool as hell, and like he's amazing. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to go back. I'm going to watch the original Happy Gilmore, and I'm going to watch the new Happy Gilmore.
It'll be interesting because you have not watched it. It'll be interesting watching it for the first time and not having the 20 years in between the two.
Right,
I,
right.
I will I will quickly say, because I know we're running out of time, you're doing yourself a disservice by not look. And I'm not saying you need to watch them all, because I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't watched them all. But here's the thing you can respect about Adam Sandler. There's a guy that hit the success train, did and was able to write his own ticket to where he could do whatever he wanted. And here's a guy that spent the last 10 or 15 years of his career, all right, making the movies that he wants to make under under his own production company, having total control over everything. And routinely every couple of years he makes a movie with all of his friends, and they go off to some crazy locale, and he gets to make a movie with all these people that he loves and wants to spend time with. And you know what? I give him all the credit in the world, because this is a guy that took his success and made it exactly what he wanted it to be. He's great.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we have like less than 2 minutes left here, and I want to get into my last very thing. You know the Coldplay story that's been going around?
Yes,
Okay,
everybody in the world is.
okay, the Coldplay story. So the couple,
Yes,
the woman that was in the Coldplay story,
yes.
I hired her at Cafe Deluxe in DC back in like 1997. Today, I got in
The
my
head of
attic.
HR lady.
Yes, she was
That's
a
fucking
hostess at
crazy.
Cafe Deluxe. Today, I got up in my attic. I dug out my old photos. I went through. In addition to this photograph of our father sitting at the bar at Cafe Deluxe that I found when he came in and had lunch with me one time, I found this. I knew it. I knew I had a photo. That is her right there. You see her back there next behind Pig Vomit?
Yeah,
That's her. That is Kristen, whatever her name was. I hired her at Cafe Deluxe as a hostess. And now she is known to every single person on this
Jesus,
planet.
that's crazy.
All right.
All right, there's
There you
nothing else
go.
to say.
There is nothing less to say. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week. Ale.
Wow.
Ale. Ciao.
Ale. Good Lord.
The Teen Bus is part of the Beyond the Slipstream family and is produced by Harperama. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Please like, subscribe, leave a review, and tell your friends about us. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time. Ale!
What are the chances?
Sean Ahern sent me a text. He's like, dude, that chick used to work at that chick used to work at Cafe Deluxe. I confirmed with Brian. Her name was Kristen, blah, blah, blah. And he sent me a